Welcome to the top of the morning show. It's your girl TT from the D. Everybody, I hope that you had a relaxing, peaceful Labor Day, whatever you did, wherever you went, wherever you're coming from. I hope that it was chill. A lot of restaurants were closed yesterday, so I know a lot of people was cooking or did some catering. Whatever it is you did, I hope that you did it well. And I hope that you appreciated having that day off if you had the day off. If you had to work, I hope that you appreciate having a job to go to. Okay. Now, this morning, we're going to talk about the difference between communication and conversation. Okay. I'm not going to hold you long. It's going to be a smooth, sweet conversation, but it's very important. What is conversation? Let's talk about that first. A conversation is interaction between two people or more, and it can be on the phone, it can be in person, right? Thank God for social media and all telephones and smartphones and things like that. It can be an exchange of views and ideas, information, right? It's definitely going to be a speaker and a listener at all times. One person is doing the talking and one person is doing the listening. At least that's how it should be. And the two parties interact by relaying information through speech, right? Conversations are vital parts of life, no matter what kind of relationship you have, whether it's romantically, professionally, personally, right? Conversations are used for expressing ourselves, right? Building trust, getting information, getting to know people, right? Now, let's also talk about what is communication. Well, communication is a key ingredient in human life. Animals communicate too, but not verbally, in their own way, in their own language. But we communicate a lot, whether it's sign language or, writing things down or verbal, like I said. It refers to the exchange of information, such as the ideas we have and we want to share, right? And there is a sender and a receiver. Just like there's a speaker and a listener, there's a sender, the speaker, and then there's a listener, the receiver. The information is conveyed and it's going to give you the precise message that you desire to be received, depending on how it's delivered. So if it's verbal communication, that's conversations, voice notes, emails. No, I'm sorry. I take back emails. So it's conversations, voice notes, phone calls. You can even do it through FaceTime, right? Video calls, video chat, whatever you want to call it. Then you have the nonverbal communication. Emails, text messages, letters, right? Notes, pretty much I think that would sum that up. And what is the difference between the two? The key difference between the two are: 1, organizational structure, forms of communication, such as reports, right? If we're doing a speech, etc., right? A speaker organizes their thoughts, and a lot of time they write them down. Me as a podcaster, right? A lot of the times, depending on my guests, I'll write the questions down. I'll send those to those that say I need to know in advance, right? And I try to follow the flow of that. So we'll do the introduction. You get to meet who my guest is. Okay, we'll talk about what they're doing. I'll ask some questions. They'll give us some data, and then we'll close it out, the conclusion. So you got the intro, the body, and the conclusion. Okay. Number 2, use of formal language. Another big communication difference between people is the universal language. Are you using formal or are you using slang? Depends on who you're talking to. As they say, code switching, right? Some people code switch. Some people talk, it just depends on the circle and who you're talking to and what you're talking about. Number 3, delivery method. Conversations can be spontaneous and happen without any preparation. That's natural. However, a person can randomly approach someone and strike up a conversation. And that falls into the random spontaneousness. But it also could be a prepared. If I meet somebody and see somebody that's talking about this is how I'm going to approach that. Right? You thinking of effective ways to communicate. Number 4, the delayed feedback. A face-to-face conversation with another person. And let's just say you have an interview. Okay? And you're going to be waiting on that feedback. When they say, okay, we'll be in touch, We got to meet with a couple of other people. That's the individual part of the conversation where thoughts and ideas have to set and resonate, and then a decision will be made at a later time. Now, this is not possible when you are doing a letter or a report. There is no delayed feedback. It's right on there unless you're waiting for the response. The sender has to wait for the receiver to break down what they're saying and respond back in that case. It could take a couple of hours, a couple of days, a couple of weeks. Okay, depending on what it is. And last but not least, number 5, timing. Timing is everything. We heard that. But communication forms such as public speaking have restraints on them, right? Time limits, things of that nature. Willingness of participants, etc., etc. And there are similarities, yet there are different, okay? The similarities that we share involves the speaker and the listener. Commonalities. We look for the commonalities, right? When it's the common purpose, both communication and conversation share the same purpose. If we're talking about interactive nature, communication is interactive exchange of information between the sender, the receiver, the listener, the speaker. And using a common language, the objective of common language is to reach a mutual understanding. You can't be talking slang and then somebody's using normal formal conversation. It's kind of like there's going to be a breakdown in communication and or lack of communication, right? You want both parties to be on one accord, so you have to communicate using a common language. Well, that's all I have for you on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I hope that you have picked up a few little tools here about being a better communicator, a better conversationalist, right? And understand the difference between communication and conversation. Tonight, if you are free, pop up, pull up on my girl, on me. I'm going to have a show for you tonight for Tap In Tuesday. Remember, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you can find us streaming on Facebook, YouTube, always on TTfromtheD podcast page at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Once again, tell a friend. If you can't catch that show, it's there once it airs. So to go up, it's an hour long, normally, depending on who the guest is. Sometimes it's so good you don't want to stop it, so you let it run its course and let it be natural and organic. But tonight, I have a funny feeling that we're going to roll within that hour mark. So if you can, pull up. If not, until the next time we leave footprints on the sun, it's your girl TT from the D, and I'll see you soon.